Hello everyone. Spiritual whistleblower here. Happy Thursday. Before I jump into this video, and it is by request, lots of women have requested that I discuss the topic that I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. Guess what? Tomorrow, Friday, I will be in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, the event, the Narcissistic Abuse Support Group in Cleveland, takes place Saturday, so there is time to buy tickets. This Sunday, October 3rd, I will be in New Orleans. Same thing, you guys. Get your tickets if you want to attend Cleveland or New Orleans. Now, the rest of the month, October, I will be in Texas. I will be in Houston, October 16th, Dallas, Texas, October 22nd, and I'll be in Austin, Texas, October 24th. Get your tickets now because I'm doing a birthday celebration in Texas. All 3 dates in Texas will be birthday. They'll be special. I'm going to dress up and everything. So please come out and help me celebrate my birthday this month, October, and we'll have a good time. Again, I'm available for phone coaching. You email me at chanelljasmine@gmail.com. Get scheduled today, and I'll be here for you. All right, now, today, by request, I want to talk about narcissistic mothers and their daughters. This is a big one. I did a very short 30-second reel on Instagram this morning. Then I spoke out about, I said, if you want to know why you continue to jump from one toxic, and I was speaking to women really. It's a general video for men and women, but women are responding. So I said in the video, if you want to know why you continue to attract toxic relationships and toxic friendships, then you need to take a good look at your mother and father. Either one or both of them are narcissistic. And what has happened is that because their behavior is so dysfunctional and toxic, they have programmed you in your childhood to normalize their abusive behavior. And what happens when you become an adult, you jump into friendships and relationships with people that are the duplicate of your mom and dad. So your boyfriend is basically a reincarnated version of your daddy. Fellas, if you're with a toxic woman, she is the reincarnated version of your mama or your grandmama. Somebody in your family groomed you to attract abusers. So, women want me to talk more about the narcissistic mother and her influence over her daughters. Okay, so I'll break it down and I'll definitely use my situation because I was raised, I believe my mother is a sociopath. She is an ex-convict. She is violent. She's abusive. She's verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, financially. She's a gold digger. She's definitely physically abusive. All of the above, highly manipulative. She, puts on a facade that she's a goody two-shoes to the public eye, doing her community service. But behind closed doors, she does not treat all her children equally. She demands respect, but she doesn't give respect because she thinks her children are still 5 years old and she can talk to them and order them around any kind of way. But when you get a backbone and stand up to her, then she has a fucking problem. So I will talk about, I got to get away from the noise, guys. I'm in the park. It's a bit noisy here. I'm going to get to a little quiet bench. I'm going to talk about a narcissistic mother's influence over her daughter. Okay? Now, mommy, if she's a narcissist, she definitely was abused in her childhood. Either she was neglected by her mother, your grandmother. You got to find out how she was abused. She may have been molested. Her mother may have not raised her and dropped her off on her grandmother who raised her. In other words, abandonment. So your grandmother may have also, my grandmother was definitely a covert narcissist, and she abandoned my mother and left my mother to be raised by her grandmother. That's what covert narcissists do. They're disconnected emotionally from their children. And on top of that, my mother was a love child. Many of you can relate. Oh, New York is so noisy. Many of y'all are, were conceived out of a love affair. You were a love child because your parents had a fling. Either mom was a side chick or daddy was cheating on his wife, and you were conceived that way. So my mother was conceived. She had a twin sister, but my mother is a result of a fling, okay? And both her father and her mother, my grandmother, are narcissists. May they all rest in peace. Let me break this down to y'all. So you got to understand your mother's upbringing, number one, and why she turned out to be so fucking toxic, dysfunctional, insecure, incredibly insecure, deeply insecure. Dig into her childhood, try to, find answers, ask family members. I got the answers. I know why my mother's fucked up in the head and walking around like she ain't did nothing. Nor will she hold herself accountable, apologize to her children. It's always, hey, y'all can kiss my ass. No, I'm not kissing your ass, bitch. I'm going to hold you accountable to you on your fucking deathbed. And I know you watching. I'm going to hold you motherfucking accountable to you on your and I'm not going to your funeral. And if your ass is sick in the hospital, I'm not coming to visit you. You're going to be held accountable, motherfucker, till you apologize and own up to the shit you did. You destroyed your fucking family. You and my father both. So a narcissistic mother, her influence over her daughters. I talk about how a narcissistic mother destroys her son. I wrote a whole book on it. Mother Made You, Mother Fuck You is a book about how toxic women raise and destroy their sons. They groom their sons to destroy good women so that they can control their sons. They want their sons' money. It's emotional incest. They want their sons, they treat their sons like their lover more than a son. So what type of damage does she do to her daughter? Okay, so here, let me give you two different scenarios. The first scenario is the one daughter who she is jealous of. Now, if you're a victim and you're watching my page, you are more than likely a victim of abuse. If you're watching me, then the chances are your mother was jealous, she was competitive, and I'm talking about when you were a little girl and a teenager, she was jealous of your beauty back then. She treated you like a woman who wanted to fuck her nigga. She didn't support you morally. She didn't say I love you. She was emotionally disconnected. Sure, she might have provided, paid the bills, and cooked dinner, but emotionally she was disconnected. There was no emotional nurturing. And that is the most important thing that a child needs before financial comes. And if she's a narcissist, she didn't want to raise her fucking kids to begin with. So if you were appointed to take care of your siblings, then what she did was she stole your childhood from you, forced you to grow up early, and she, like me, I had to work 2 jobs, and my mother took all my paychecks. I was in high school with 2 jobs. I never spent any of my money shopping at the mall with my friends, saving money for college. My mother took everything, and she was jobless. She stayed at home on her fat ass watching soap operas. And her pedophile husband was locked up at the time. So she turned me into, the caretaker, financial provider, because she was jobless and her nigga was laid up in jail. So the responsibility was dumped on me to have a job, to pay the bills and get groceries my senior year of high school, which is why I had to escape and get away to college. And I went to college several states over to get away from my mother. I was gone. I couldn't wait to get away from my mother. So if you're the scapegoat child, your mother's going to be jealous of you. And that's whether she has a man in the house or not. Let's talk about the scenario if she does not have a man, or, your daddy's dead, or your daddy remarried somebody else, your daddy's not in the picture. Your mother's still going to abuse you. If she's a single mother, she will still abuse you. Or she will jump from one toxic nigga to the next. A lot of y'all have stepfathers that have molested you, and your mother treats you. Your mother knows the nigga ain't shit. Your mother knows he's a cheater, liar, scumbag, but your mother will stick by his side and treat you like a side chick trying to steal her nigga. Your own mother will fucking betray you for a piece of dick. Okay? That's how threatened and jealous and insecure she is of her own daughter. Okay? This is why when you grow up, you are constantly attracting toxic men, because these toxic narcissistic men have the same personality as your mother. Okay? Took me years to figure this out, but I jumped into relationships with sociopaths because my mother is a sociopath and her behavior was normalized in our household growing up. I normalized it, and because I was trained as a teenager to have no boundaries, to always put everybody's needs before mine. I was a caretaker at a young age, always let people walk all over me. My parents trained me like that. So your mother will forever be in competition with you. If you have children, she will try to take her grandchildren. She'll take you to court and try to steal your children from you because she's desperate for control. She'll go to court. This is why a lot of these toxic mothers file fake child protective services reports. Your mother will call the police and file fake police reports. She wants to fuck your life up because she knows she was a piece of shit mother to you, and she's trying to destroy you so that you could be on her level, so she could have the one up over you. Now, okay, so for those of you that are still dealing with an abusive mother and you're 30, 40, 50 years old, shame on you. And I hate to say it like that, but you know what you have to do. You got to cut that bitch off. She should not have your phone number. She should not know where you live. You're never going to heal. If you keep trying to control the situation, you feel sorry for her, you feel guilty for her, you're not going to fucking heal till you cut the bitch off and treat her like she's dead. She is the root of all your issues, honey. Start dealing with reality. Now, the other type of daughter, your mother will, if your mother has multiple daughters, like my sister, she will turn that daughter into a narcissist, a duplicate of herself. So she wants one daughter to be a whipping post. You know the typical Cinderella story. She wants to, you know, the Cinderella story, they treated Cinderella, her sister, her stepsister, they treated her like shit. They were mean to her. And that you're the Cinderella, okay? Your sister, who is a narcissist, she is the nasty sisters, the stepsisters that mistreated Cinderella. So if you have a narcissistic sister, just know your mother deliberately trained your sister to be a narcissist. Your sister has the same exact qualities as your mother. Your sister is a gold digger. She's a con artist. She is stuck up, conceited, lazy, a predator, always seeking out men with money or trying to trap a nigga with a baby. Hasn't accomplished nothing with her life. She lives close to your mom because your mom wants to keep controlling her and she's too weak to be independent of your mother. She will not realize that your mother is manipulating her and destroying her life. You got to cut your sister off too. Anyone in your family that is connected to your mother must go. There's no other way to heal from it. When you cut off your mother and you isolate and you deny, listen, I don't give a fuck if your mother pops up to your house. You better call the police on that bitch. I will call. My mother showed up in my house. She going to jail. She know not to fuck with me. Make your mother respect your boundaries. Isolate, go to therapy, heal so that you can stop attracting men with the same personality as your mother. Period.